Hi friends, I'm Lisa with Made to Create with Lisa, and happy Monday to you. It is a new week and it is, October 18th today, and we're getting that much closer to November and therefore December. And so we are going to start with some Christmas crafting. I feel like inside I'm not like ready to get there yet, but I know that if we don't start with the decor, then it won't be done and ready to put out when we actually are ready to pull out all our stuff and decorate. I actually know that in the decorating world, there are a ton of people actually putting up their trees already. I'm definitely not there. But today we are going to make a cute hot cocoa garland that you can just put out, like drape off of a tiered tray or put onto, like if you have an entry table or something like that with a little vignette that you can create. So that's what we're going to make today. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to decide. I feel like I should just put you down and then maybe you can see the stuff closer up instead of holding it up. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, let's point you down here and get you straight. Oh, hey, Ray. Nice to see you. Okay, I think that's straight-ish. Okay, so today we are going to use all sorts of fun things. All right, so the main thing we're going to start out with is we're going to use more of these wooden cutouts from the Dollar Tree. Now, do you remember that we did the pumpkins with these in our fall decor? And so this one is little mugs, okay? And I don't know, I think that there's 8 in the package. And so I just pulled out one of these, okay? And what I already did before I came live is I painted it red, all right? So I actually painted both sides because if you're doing a garland, sometimes it kind of flops around. And so I wanted it to be two-sided, just in case you end up seeing the back side. So I just painted this red. I actually had some chalk paint, but you could use acrylic paint. It doesn't matter. And what we are going to use today is some of our awesome embossing paste. I know that we did this with some other projects earlier in the season, and we're going to actually end up using this a lot. It just does some awesome things. So it's a little bit messy. So I have a little piece of paper here that I can use, and then I can throw it away. But what I pulled out is one of my excuse me, one of my masks from the new mask selection that is in the holiday catalog. I think it's called Adorning Masks. And I picked out this striped one because, of course, it kind of looks candy cane-ish. Okay, and what we're going to use is one of these masks as well as one of our palette knives. And it doesn't really matter which one. I just kind of like this one. Okay, and what we're going to do is we are just going to use the paste as is, just white. Okay, so I am actually going to line this up on the top. And I'm just going to hold it. If you want to like put it in place permanently, you could like tape it down or something, but we don't need to. Okay, so all you do is you just get a scoop and you start just scraping it on. All right. And you want to do enough so that it gets into the grooves. I have way too much. Enough that it gets in the grooves, but, not too much. And this is looking really bumpy, but don't worry, we're going to scrape it off. Okay, so now that it's all over the whole object, now I'm just going to work on scraping it off a little bit more evenly. Now, if you were doing like a background with a, you know, like an outdoor scene or like a cool textured wall or something, you wouldn't need to do it smooth. But since this is like a mug, I want it to look smooth looking. So I'm just going to scrape it until it looks smooth, okay? And then that's it. And then you scrape the rest into your jar and then put your lid on tight. But we're gonna actually use it again in a second here. So are you ready for the big reveal? Look how cool that looks. Okay, now this does dry really quickly, so I have a little bin of water next to me that I'm gonna put it into so that it doesn't dry on the stencil and get ruined while I'm still on the video here. Okay, so now as you see, obviously we have extra and that's fine. You just kind of can wipe it off. You can also use this and just kind of scrape off the edges. Let's see, I'm gonna turn it over here. Get some of those inside edges in the handle there. I don't know, I use my fingers a lot too. And we'll just scrape that until it looks good. Let me see, hold on here. I want to get this edge. Let's see, I don't know if I can get that cleanly wiped or not. All right, I have a paper towel here. I'm just wiping my palette knife so it's a little bit cleaner, and then I'm gonna try to go in here. You can also use your fingernail after it's dry and just kind of scrape some of it off. There we go. Okay, now, in order to get completely dry, this takes a couple minutes and then it'll be totally dry. But before it's dry, what we're going to do is finish off the whipped cream section, okay? So since this is wet, I'm just going to use it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to scoop a little bit more out, and then I'm just going to hold my little mug here, and we're actually just going to smear it all over the top. And I want this to be really bumpy and kind of frothy looking. I don't want it to be smooth like I scraped it down below. This is super, super dimensional, and it stays dimensional like that. It stays really puffy. All right. So we're gonna kind of swirl that around, make it look delicious. And then you can just scrape off as much as you want and make it as thick as you want, but that's about how I want it to look. And then that side is done. Now, like I said, because this is 3D, you might end up seeing the back side. So I actually will do this back side too before I put it out, but I need to let it dry for a few minutes. So we will let that dry. Okay. So now you need to put your lid tightly on your jar so that it does not dry out. And you also want to wipe off or wash off your palette. Hey, Marty. You want to wipe this off so that your embossing paste doesn't dry on there forever. Okay? All right. Now see, that mask, I forgot that I brought this over here. It came from the Adorning Masks pack here, and it comes in 4 different designs, and I just chose the striped one. There's like, I could have used this really cool snowflake one, but I'm sure we'll do that on another project in our Christmas decor that we'll be making. So how cute is this? Isn't this adorable? Now, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna set this aside to dry, and we'll work on the next part. Actually, I'll just lift this whole thing up and we'll set this aside to dry while we work on the next part of our garland. Okay, so I just have some twine, just some regular twine. Whoops, trying to find the end here. Here's the end. All right, and I'm just going to use some Scotch tape, and I'm going to tape up the end of my twine because it makes it much easier to thread. All right, and I have these super, super fat needles that I got at Walmart. You can find them in the knitting or crocheting or whatever section. I do not knit or crochet, so I don't know. I don't really know the difference between the two. Are you a knitter or a crocheter, and you can tell me? All right, so I just have some red beads that we're going to use, and you can get beads absolutely everywhere. All right, and I have some dark brown beads that we're going to use because, of course, red and brown are kind of those cocoa colors, right? And we are just going to string a pattern. So I will go red, brown, red, and then look at this. You are going to die at how cute this is. Prepare yourself. Look at these foam marshmallows, people. Are those not adorable? Look at these. So we are actually going to put these foam marshmallows onto our garland. And they're a little bit hard to push through, but once you get it through, and then, I'm sorry, this will be off camera. I actually have to use my teeth to pull it all the way through. There we go. All right. Now I hope there's no dentists on here telling me that I'm a bad girl. Okay, so see how we're gonna just make a little repeating pattern. Oh, the foam marshmallows were from Hobby Lobby. All right, so we're just gonna do, and this isn't gonna be very long. We're just doing a little decor piece that will sit out. It's not like a full garland to like put on a mantle or something. So we're just gonna do a couple here. All right, so we'll put another marshmallow onto our garland. All right, hold on. Can you hear that? I'm just chomping it. It's nothing bad. All right, I'm going to do another one. I think we'll do four marshmallows that you will hear me chomp. Okay, I'm going to try to do that quieter this time. I didn't anticipate that being embarrassing. Maybe I should have done that in advance. All right, you kind of have to work it over this lump thing that I've created. All right, just about done here. Oh, look, I pulled out just the right amount of those brown beads. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to put four big marshmallows. I think it looks like a nice number. I think it'll be kind of the perfect length to just lay out in a cute little decor. Okay, that sounded way worse than it actually was. Now I'm super embarrassed. Okay. All right, here we go. Look at that. Isn't that cute? All right, so now we're done with our red beads. We'll put those aside. And now I am done. Let's see, am I done with my needle? What we're gonna do here is we are going to make a little tassel. Okay, so what I have is, I'm looking for my twine. All right, I think I want to use my thick twine because it will make a little bit more of a presence for a tassel. So to make a tassel, have you ever made a tassel? You can wrap your twine pretty much around anything. I have this really cool pom-pom maker from Honey Hush Creations. She is on Etsy. And it makes 3 different sizes. This is the small, medium, and large, and I'm going to use the large side. You could really wrap it around anything, but this just makes it really easy. So I'm going to wrap this around here to make a tassel. And all you have to do is just wrap it until you think that it's going to be the amount of fluff that you want. I think that that's going to be pretty good. Now, the thing that I did not decide before coming on here, because I wasn't sure how I was going to do it, was I thought it'd be cute to add some of our Stampin' Up! Ribbon into the tassel. So I brought over a few selections that would go. So I have our beautiful ruched, ruffled red ribbon. This is in the holiday catalog. As well as these ones. These are the selections I brought. So I have our white, what is this called? The Whisper White crinkled seam binding. I brought the brown. I don't think I'm going to use the brown. This is the faux suede. This I thought would be fun, would be the glittered white. And then this is the cute, cute, cute red stitched from the Playful Pets combo pack. So I feel like I want to try the white glitter, and I don't really know what's going to be the easiest way to do this on camera, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a few pieces. I think 2. I'm going to cut a few pieces that would look cute in this tassel, and I'm just basically going to lay them in. I think that that's going to be the easiest way to do it. Okay. I feel like this is going to be too fat. I might wrap this one around the top. Hey, Heidi. Okay. So I think that this is going to be perfect because it's a really nice width, really tiny. So let's just go ahead and cut a couple of those. Besides the fact that it is so adorable. Whoops. This one comes in a 2-pack with a black and white twine. It's also super cute. I'm sure we'll use that this season as well. Okay, and then why don't we go ahead and do a couple pieces of the white seam binding ribbon as well. It's kind of a staticky ribbon, very floppy and thin. I really like it. It's super easy to mail, like on a card. But because it's staticky and stuff, we'll see how it lays. Okay, and I think that we'll bring this back in at the end. All right, so you watched me as I wrapped this around here. So like I said, you could wrap it around like a stamp case or just as long as you want your tassel to be, and maybe it'll make more sense when I'm done. But what we'll do is we will just cut off our twine, okay? And I'm trying to figure out the easiest way to do this. I think I have no choice. Well, let's see what happens if I just do it this way. All right, I'm going to, you'll see my problem here in a minute. You'll see what I'm trying to do. I'm going to lay this on here. I'm just going to try to lay the different selections on here. Whoops, trying to grab this one. All right, let's lay these in here. And that way, when we tie our tassel, we'll have some of these wrapped in here as well. I really like this glittered ribbon. All right, I know this probably looks like a big mess, but it's gonna make sense here. Okay, now see, we're going to take our twine, and I am going to put it underneath all of these and have it go through that way. And what I'm going to do is tie it in a knot. Whoops. It would help if I tied it in a knot. I have quite a few strings going on here. There we go. All right. So what I'm doing is tying it like that, and then we can squiggle it off of the end of our pom-pom maker. And now we have the beginnings of our tassel here. So what we can do is we can kind of tighten up some of these ribbons, because I was, of course, determined to have ribbons in here. I think that that looks actually kind of cute, people. Okay, now I'm going to take my needle that's on my garland, and I'm going to put it through the hole here. And that way we will have it right here onto our actual garland. And I don't need it quite that long. Now I'm done with the needle, so I'm going to take the needle off. All right. And I don't need all of that. So what we will do is we will tie a knot. I'm trying to figure out, this is kind of backwards for me in my knot tying. All right, now where's my end? I think I'm confusing myself. Okay, here we go. All right, we're going to tie this knot, and that way now see how it's attached to our garland. So I'm going to put that all the way down, and now we have our tassel hanging off of our garland. I'm realizing that I never cut my garland free from my twine. Okay, so now it's all tight, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie another knot at the top, and I want it to tie all the way down here next to the base where the bead is. So I'm kind of trying to get it all the way down there before it tightens. There. Now see how my knot is all the way down there next to the bead. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my end and I'm going to stuff it through my bead, and that way the end of the twine is going to be hidden and you won't see it, and it will look like it's magically attached. All right, cut that off and see, and now we have our garland attached to our tassel. Okay, so I need to tie my tassel off, and we will hide this little ugly knot. So I'm going to cut off my ends here of my twine, and the last thing we need to do is we need to create the actual tassel. So we have to cut all of our loops. See, that was easy. And I think what I'll do after I get off here is I will play around with these ribbons to kind of make them go throughout so that the back isn't, you know, totally blank. But isn't that cute? Okay, so now what we'll do to finish it off so that you don't see that knot, first of all, I'm gonna wiggle it around to the back if I can. Let's see if I can get it to slide. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to take this red ruffle and let's just cut a length, just a random length. Okay, just a little bit. And what we'll do is we will, oops, that's coming a little bit untied. I haven't had that happen before. Whoops, sorry. I don't know why that came loose. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue onto my knot. And we will put the end of our ribbon there. Give that a second to cement on there. Oh, thanks, Heidi. I think it's going to be cute after it's all done. Okay, so I have to tell you that I'm making these to sell at a craft fair that I'm doing in a couple weeks. Okay, so we're going to wrap that all the way around. Put a little bit more hot glue. Wrap it nice and tight. And then sandwich that on there like that. And then it gives a little bit more of a finished look around your tassel, like a little band. Okay, my jute is leaving hairs everywhere. Okay, so now we have our tassel, and now we have this end to deal with. Now don't forget about our little cup of cocoa that we made. Let's see if it is dry yet. Here it is. Now this was so thick that this part is a little bit wet. Still, this is completely dry. See how I can touch it? So what we're gonna do is I need to let this dry before I can mess with it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, just with a piercer tool, I'm going to, can you see the hole? You can easily poke through this embossing paste and then we'll have our hole. And then I will thread through and attach our little cocoa cup to our garland so that it's hanging from it. Okay, and then to finish it off so that it is totally adorable is I have the new adorable stitched snowflakes dies. And I just picked several of these snowflakes and I cut them out of our silver foil specialty paper. Whew, that's shiny. See how there's like 3 different shades in this pack? And so I just used the lightest shade of silver and I pre-cut several of the stitched snowflakes. Look how beautiful they are. So those were the 3 that I cut out. And I just cut a selection because I thought we could see which one looks the best. Oh, look how pretty that is. Which one do you like? I kind of like this giant one. Yeah, this one's too small. Yeah, I think that I like the giant one the best. So what we will do is, after this is all done, I will go ahead and adhere our snowflake onto our mug, and I will finish the back side of that so that there is some whipped cream on the back of the mug as well as the front. Okay, and then it will be more 3D. And look how cute this is going to be. What do you think? So I will definitely post pictures after the whole thing is finished and show you exactly how it turned out. But that is the basic thing of having like, about how long is this? Maybe 16 inches, 18 inches long of a little, just a little decor piece to put in a tiered tray or whatever. All right, so let me bring you up. So I feel like I need like Christmas music or something going, or I should be, you know, dressed for Christmas, but it's only October. But that is our first Christmas craft, and I think it's adorable. And like I said, I'm making him for a craft bazaar that we have coming up here in a couple weeks. So before I sign off, I had a couple things to tell you. First of all, I got the sweetest package from Susan. How do you say your last name, Susan? Boback in Upper Michigan. And she sent me Upper Michigan oak leaves. Look how huge these things are. Like, this is how big my face is. They're huge. So sweet of her to send me oak leaves and a whole bag of acorns so that I can do some gold gilding on real acorns. Isn't that cool? So thank you so much. That was so sweet of you. And she even sent me a card made with the Plentiful Plants bundle. Look at this. It's like a you can use both sides of the, so you can see both sides of the designer series paper when you open it. So thank you so much, Susan. That was really sweet of you. I'm still taking signups for my desk calendar class that is a to-go kit class this year. So I will post the registration links on the video when I'm off. And I will also post the link so that you can buy some of this awesome embossing paste, as well as the masks and things like that that you need to make this cute project. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. So just message me with any questions you have. And that is the project that we have to start our week off with. So I hope that you had a great weekend, and I will see you later this week, okay? Don't forget, you were made to create. Bye.